Okay, this is a video about taking apart a Tecumseh. I believe it's a 196 cc engine, overhead valves. So I already took a lot of things apart, the flywheel and a bunch of other stuff. To take the cover off, the side cover off, you're gonna unscrew all the bolts. You're gonna use a hammer, rubber hammer or something like this, to hit on the sides here to get it open. Once you have this off, you're gonna realize there's a governor. This thing comes off here. Now to remove the governor, this is if you're doing an upgrade. If you're doing making this engine, removing the governor is you're gonna need to update connecting rod, the flywheel, at least those two things. Otherwise, it's gonna blow up. What you're gonna need to do is, what I've seen people take a screwdriver, put it on the governor. This is plastic, and with a hammer you hit it and the whole thing just flies apart. Then you're gonna be left with just this piece right here, this shaft. It doesn't bother you. I mean, it's not gonna bother the engine or anything. You could grind it off if you want it, remove it, or just leave it there, no problem. As you're upgrading the engine, let's see here, you're gonna notice these two holes right here, 1, 2, and this little cutout groove. This is for the oil. So the oil gets in, and basically this end of the shaft gets lubricated so it spins freely. What you could do is take a Dremel and carefully open up these the two holes right here, and maybe grind off the groove over there just to open it a little for more oil flow. Same thing goes for the camshaft. Now the camshaft, be careful. There's a spacer. Don't let it drop into the engine and forget about it. Make sure you remove it, save it for later. There's also a groove. You can take a Dremel, just open it a little bit. Take a really fine sandpaper. I'm talking about like 400, 800 grade, and just gently shave off any burrs or anything that's in the way. Okay, after all this, next, which I'm really surprised, or maybe not, this camshaft is plastic. This is not gonna work. When your engine is spinning 8,000 RPMs or whatever, this is gonna fly off and explode. You're gonna need to replace this for sure. Okay, this is as far as I got. This engine has not been taken care of. I can see a lot of oil and water mixture. It's really sticky in there. So, what else? I think that's all I've discovered. Oh, there's a governor. This is part of the governor. This little lever here. You're gonna need to remove this. Now you're gonna need to use snap ring pliers to remove this piece right here, and it just should just slide out inside. You're gonna have a hole. Once this comes out, you're gonna have a hole. You can use JB Weld. You can use take a tap and put some threads in there and put a bolt. Put some Loctite, put a bolt in there, and that should be fine. Let me get this out of the way. I washed this engine. It was all dirty. On the exhaust side, you want to leave it, you want to polish it so it's very smooth, so exhaust comes out really fast, nothing's in the way. Intake, on the other hand, you're gonna take a gasket. Yeah, I have one right here. You're gonna put the gasket right here, and you can see how much you can take off. You're gonna grind inside as much as you can. Leave it rough, don't polish it. You want those rough, unpolished surface so that air and fuel mixture will mix better. Like it's gonna improve, give you a little more torque and stuff. As far as the gasket, you can actually grind off. What I've seen some people do, they grind off with the gasket, so you can go as close as you possibly think is safe to the edge and all around to expand the intake manifold. And that's it. This is where we're at right now. We're gonna take apart more stuff, and I'll record more videos for you guys, and then we'll try to get some more performance parts for this engine. That's all. Okay guys, it's been a while, probably like a couple of months now since I've been able to work on this, but I think I got a lot done. I mean, it just takes time to do this and order parts and return parts, and it just never ends. But anyways, the major part of this that I've been working on is this intake manifold. What I had to do, since nothing fits, and I think I already spoke about this before, I just don't remember what I said because it's been a while. This original intake broke, so I can't use it here. So I decided to manufacture my own, plus the carb that I'm using does not work with, you know, any type of, this is like universal carb. You have to use like this rubber adapter for, you know, to attach it. So what I did is I bought a intake manifold like this. This is for like a 50cc dirt bike. I measured it. I mean, this fits the whole size, fits the whole size on this intake right here. All I had to do is cut it somewhere down the middle here, and you know, basically that's the only way you can attach and use this rubber piece. What I did is I cut it about here, then I cut another piece so I can twist it and reattach it so it looks like more like this. I've used JB Weld to attach the second part. It actually works really good. I spray painted it white. I know it looks really bad. This was probably not a good idea, but as you can see, JB Weld is a little bit inside. It's a very strong bond. Like, I'm actually surprised how strong this is. Anyways, this works. I had to realign and drill a second hole in here and widen this one so that everything fits correctly. Like I mentioned, I've opened up the intake a little bit, so I have to adapt or cut my gasket so it fits onto this. There's a very small space here, but it should work. It shouldn't be a problem. But this fits really good, and everything else does too. So it's gonna look something like this. Ugh. Come on, you bastard. Here we go. Okay, here we go. So this, I'm just gonna quickly attach this here for testing purposes. Okay, here we go. Like this. This is what it's going to look like, hopefully, when it's done. So it's sitting horizontally versus pointing down. That's why I had to cut it and glue it back together. I don't have a welder or aluminum welder, so I can't weld this stuff together. For now, I hope this works. That's it. This is the major part that is done. I think that's all I needed. I'm gonna start reassembling this engine and hopefully run it soon, get it running soon. Before I do that, let me just recap what I've done to the engine so far. Let me remove this so I can show you more stuff. Okay, put this aside here. I removed all the stuff. I don't have a video on this, but it's pretty easy. Just remove it. Make sure we keep everything organized. What's this? Right here. This intake side, exhaust side cover, intake manifold, all the bolts where it goes. Since I'm reassembling with the same original parts, it's best to put everything back the way it was, putting the same bolts, everything else back in this order. If this was a brand new engine, it wouldn't be such, it wouldn't matter so much. But since it's, I'm reusing the old parts, so it's good to put them back in the same place. I've honed the intake. I seated the valve, I polished it, I cleaned it up a little bit. That's done. Same thing with the exhaust. Everything's been cleaned and polished. The cylinder head. Let me get this here. Cylinder head. Can you see it? Okay. Let me just remove this. Right here. Come on. Oops. There we go. This is okay. So the cylinder head, I polished it. I think I had a video or explained to you what I did. Is I used 180 grit, 140, 180, 1,000. No, forget it. 180, 400, and 1,000 grit sandpapers, and I just went from one to another, and I polished it in different directions, so it's very clean. And I might have to do 1,000 grit one more time just to get it all lined up. I did the same thing with this because there's some leftover gaskets here. Just a quick polish. Everything's good to go. Everything's nice and polished. Everything's cleaned. This is aluminum, by the way. You can wash this in a sink. It's not a big deal. Although the seats, the valve seat here is metal, it will start to rust, so make sure you put some oil or something on it to prevent that. Okay, that's that. Then right here is we have a flywheel. So another thing you want to do is put some valve compound on the flywheel, put it on the crankshaft, and just move it back and forth, rotate it side to side just to seat it, so it's seated well. Has a nice bond with the crankshaft. What else? That's it. That's all I've been able to do. No aftermarket parts, no performance parts, mostly original stock parts. The piston here, I went ahead and cleaned it up, removed the rings, cleaned everything outside. Used the brake cleaner. This is aluminum. You can just do a quick brake cleaner. 1,000 grit paper just to sand off the top a little bit, so everything's nice and cleaned. I did mention that I honed the cylinder inside. It's aluminum. There's no sleeve. It's all aluminum block. I used water. I just put it in a sink with water running down and used the hone to hone it out. It worked pretty good so far. That is all so far. Okay, that's it. Next video is going to be reassembling, putting all this stuff together, reattaching, and hopefully get it running very soon. That's all. Okay, here it is, fully assembled. Hopefully it's gonna run and work. I still need the exhaust. This is the carb. I hooked it up, just put it on. I put it on the stand just to let it run, see how it works, even if it works or not. But here's what it looks like. That's it. This is the engine, fully assembled. Next step is to start it up, let it run for a little bit, see how it works, check the oil. It's got oil inside of it now. I put oil in it, so I hope everything works and there shouldn't be any problems. Otherwise, that's it. It's done. Next, after it runs, the next step would be to mount it on my mini bike and and see how that works. Hopefully it works good. I'll post all the parts that I bought and used on this engine and how much money I spent. It's freaking ridiculous. That's all. here it is. This is what it looks like. The Tecumseh engine is on a Razor MX360 electric scooter. What used to be electric scooter is now, it's been replaced, the electric engine has been replaced with the Tecumseh 196cc engine with a carb, aftermarket carb, and jack shafts and everything else. There it is. Here it is. So I'll quickly explain what I've done to make this happen. And put a pulsating fuel pump for the carb because it's just not getting enough fuel, so I had to do that. But anyways, this bike originally had a frame, original frame that looks like this, attached to this. I cut it off, bought some flat bars, bought this is a half-inch plate, 12 by, I think it was a 12 by 10 or 12 by 8 half-inch aluminum plate. I cut it, I sanded it down a little bit. Another flat bar here, angle, iron angles cut out here, everything attached. Basically I made this subframe for the engine to sit on this aluminum plate. I lined it, attached it, it fits in here just right, everything in its own place. I mean, there's no room for anything else. I mean, just everything's very tight, but everything works. Very surprising, you know, everything works here. Here's the jack shaft. Centrifugal clutch goes to the jack shaft here, and from here it's transferred to the sprocket attached to the wheel. I don't know the gear. It's very low gear ratio. I just rode it earlier this morning, and I think it'll do like 25 miles an hour maybe, but it will pop wheelies. Like, I mean, you gotta be really, you gotta go easy on the throttle because it will just flip back, do a flippy. Gas tank. From the gas tank, it goes into a fuel filter. There's a fuel shut-off valve right here. Then it goes into the pulsating fuel pump, into the carb right here. And these are just ventilation tubes here. You need those for something. And here is the valve cover that originally had a hole here for ventilation, for like a filter. So here you attach the tube that goes into the ventilation side of this fuel pump. That's basically sucks the fuel out of a gas tank here. I don't know what to do. So, oh yes, as far as the parts, so the only thing I bought is just the material, like this square bar, which is bolted on to the back of the bike here. Flat bars, nuts, bolts, this half-inch aluminum plate, bunch of tubes, zip ties. Now this wheel, the original wheel, what I've seen on YouTube, I don't have a welder. Yes, I'm not ashamed to admit I don't have a welder. I will get one, I promise, eventually. But anyways, well, this needs to be solid. Like you can't have this twist like this. So what I think some guys do, they'll weld this all around so it's solid, and then you can attach a sprocket to this and, you know, attach a gas engine, a chain with a gas engine. What I did, I just bought a whole brand new wheel for, I think it was 30 or 40 bucks on Amazon, which doesn't spin. I mean, it's already solid. What I mean by doesn't spin, doesn't freewheel like this. It's just everything's attached directly to the wheel. The original sprocket, as you can see, is for really small chain, but to it I've attached
a 420 sprocket for a 420 chain. You gotta be careful how you align it. You know, attach, just drill some holes, bolt into it, and that's it. Here is your wheel with a sprocket. It already comes with a brake, disc brake. The actual caliper I bought separate on Amazon. The jack shaft, yes, also Amazon. I think it was that was like $60 for the jack shaft, but you definitely need it. Otherwise, you can't. This sprocket right here, you can see it doesn't align with this centrifugal clutch, so you need to offset it by putting a jack shaft. Then a chain goes to the sprocket, to the wheel, and you're good to go. I don't know, that's it. I think that's it. And it looks like a, you know, a brand new innocent MX360 Razor scooter. That's all. I'll start this up. I'll rev the engine for you guys so you can hear it. It's loud, it's very loud, it's open exhaust. And it's fun, it's really fun to ride. Number 5 is the winner. Peace. Here it is. And it's over. I tried to do a burnout. Basically what happened, I've seen this before, specifically with this wheel, but I couldn't believe it. I bought this wheel anyways, and it basically broke. It's a piece of crap Chinese wheel, really weak casted wheel. Anyways, this is it. This bike is done. I'm glad it happened here while I was attempting to do a burnout and not going at 35 miles an hour. I changed the gears I switched this 11 tooth with this like 14 switch sides, so now it accelerates a lot smoother and has a top speed of 35 miles an hour versus 25. But you can see, this is it. This was the last ride. Game over. I scratched up the chain a little bit. Oh man, what a bummer. I'm kind of glad it's over because I spent so much time and money on this piece of crap. I don't want to deal with this anymore. On the other hand, I was hoping this project would succeed and I would give it to somebody else. Anyways, that's it. Okay guys, good news. I think I fixed a small problem, and what I did is I basically put the original wheel back on the bike. As you can see, I should have done this from the beginning. I didn't have to buy a new wheel. I should have used the original wheel. What I did is basically, since the sprocket is on the other side, I moved the sprocket and the jack shaft on the other side. It used to be on this side, I moved it to the other side. And that's it. That's all I had to do. Since I already have a jack shaft, you know, that's an easy thing to fix. And I've mentioned before that I switched this gear. This gear used to be in this place, and that gear used to be on this place, in this place. And this made the chain a little loose, so I put a chain tensioner right here. And that works pretty good. Original wheel has a drum brake. That's okay, still works. I was able to attach the sprocket to the mounting plate on the wheel. That worked pretty good. Just like that. I had to drill out the holes a little bit on the sprocket so everything bolts in. Like that. And this here is a chain tensioner, a couple of bearings attached to this plate or to this piece of metal right here, just like that. And that's it. So the problem is fixed. This bike works really good, and if I were to do this again, I would definitely, you know, buy the right parts, not as much now that I know what I need. And that's it. I think on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most difficult and 1 is the easiest, this is probably a 5, maybe a 6. Since I'm not using a welder, everything's bolted on. Next project is going to be this go-kart, which is a lot of fun. We'll get to work on that. I'll make some more videos on that. And I think that's it so far. And also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Like, comment, let me know what else I should do with the mini bike, or you know, just anything in general. And also let me know whether I should eat my burrito with this engine oil or WD-40. Thanks.